Definitely.
just ahead of time, for Luger's group, just FYI, I've disabled the ladder. I'm gonna just transport you to the next section. So if you can't get to the ladder, just know that that's on purpose.
No problem.
It'll just be easier instead of trying to catch up with spectator cams. I've done it ahead of time, so I'm just gonna transport you.
The duplicate tokens and
Yeah. All right. Welcome back. Uh, Last session we had a little bit of information reveal. Um, some interesting stuff came up. Uh, Luger's group came up to the uh, comms tower, and they were able to access the daughter mainframes, the twin mainframes that seem to be crunching some interesting information. One of which had to do with some files from the Cronus, and the other one was extrapolating a point in space that seems to be hundreds of parsecs away from charted or known space. Meanwhile, the group with Dr. Jiri uh, were able to commandeer EVA pod and head out into the space outside the station, and they were planning on, well, they were either planning on rendezvousing with the rest of the group, or they were going to follow the directions of Warden Stikes, who said that they needed to meet with them immediately. And I think that's where we're going to start off. And I'll bring everyone over to Into the Void. You know, if you can or cannot see Into the Void.
Can see it all.
Yeah, let's run up.
I can see it.
Okay. Uh, I believe Berger and Jerry were inside the pod, and outside on the arms were Drabikowski,
Drapikowski.
Dr. Navarre, or Professor Navarre. Uh, Berger just successfully piloted out of the docking bay, and you are now free navigating outside the station. The sheer, terror of Ablasin not far in the distance. So everyone inside the pod would probably be feeling a little more safe, but Navarre and Drapikowski, your stress goes up one as you see that there's nothing but a metal claw between you and Oblivion. Navarre's clearly shaken. You can see through his visor he's, sweating and kind of like averting his eyes from the black hole in the distance. And you can see this pretty clearly, Drabikowski.
Oh, Doctor, how can you look away? It's such a beautiful sight to behold.
I'll take your word for it, but I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. We're being watched. Things are following us, and now we're on the edge of a black hole. I just can't take it. I can't take it.
Navarre, and I was just about to respect your daredevil nature. But here comes the old Navarre. Alright, first up, I want to stop by the Zed Arena, get some supplies, see these tentacles.
Okay. So to navigate over, I'll need you to do a piloting roll.
Ooh. This'll go well.
Woo!
Probably better push it.
There you go.
Hey.
That was close.
Right. At first, you seem to be going somewhere into deep space trajectory, but you manage to recorrect and you start heading back towards the set arena. as you start to come close to the outside of the ship, all of you except Navarre, whose eyes are closed, can see what Gray had been mentioning about the damage to the ship. In different spots where the meteors had hit, you can see what looks to be almost like a organic growth on the outside. It's sort of like snagging its way out of the impact craters, kind of like weaving itself in and out of the deck plating. And in some spots, it looks like the deck plating itself has begun to transform almost into some sort of like purplish black flesh, for a better lack of terminology.
That's something. Does it look like it's growing out of Erebos and into the Citarina, or is it like just on the Citarina?
If you want to give me an observation, I can give you a better answer.
I don't think I'm going to risk the stress.
Or if anyone else wants to try.
I'll give it a whirl. Damn.
All right, you do keep it together. You do notice, looking at this growth, the parts of the Citarina that have been hit that are closer to the trawler maw that it's stuck in, you can see, like, as if you've ever seen plants growing in a window, they would usually grow in the direction of the sun, and it would lean in that direction. You can kind of see that where everywhere else it sort of looks like random. The closer to Erebos the damage was, you can see these organic vines and tendrils sort of like reaching towards Erebos.
So try and get close to the airlock if I can.
Okay. Let me bring you over to another map here.
Citarina doesn't have like a cargo bay with a wicked docking, does it?
No, it's got all of its cargo basically is loaded like on the top dorsal side of the ship on like rungs that are outside. The only access into the ship itself is like through the airlocks. Actually, let me put you on a different map here. Can everyone see the map of the Citarina?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna bring your ship. Scale.
Oh, we're so tiny.
Try that again. And since you're piloting Burger, you should have access to move the token.
Okay.
And you can see clearly these spots where the growths have kind of taken hold. All of a sudden, your comms kind of chirp to life.
This is Gray, calling EVA pod on trajectory for intercept course. Please identify.
Great, Professor Edenstrom here. We need a good place to dock. We found this pod coming in for supplies.
Dr. Burgers, glad to hear from you. Is everything going well?
Yeah, it depends on your outlook.
Well, I'm glad to see that you've managed to at least hear some form of transportation, it seems that a spacewalk is very precarious in this area.
Yeah. In fact, we better get inside before another gravity storm hits.
I think that you should probably navigate to Deck B. There's a port and starboard side airlock on either side that you can attach to.
Roger that. So our pilots to the airlock on whichever side is on the other side from the Airbus.
And you make your way. You see the lights for the airlock turn on, and like the circular docking ring lights up. It looks like you can make hard seal if you just want to exit from the pod, but that would mean that
Leave the others
Navarre
hanging.
and Drabakowski would have to go around the other side, or not get in.
Right, in which case I'm going to turn the pod to face the airlock. Alright, Drabakowski, I'm going to open the claws in a moment. Are you okay to get a hold of the ship and then bring Navarre on board?
Yep, I can do that.
Okay, and I think it was since you're piloting, the manipulators had to be operated by the second operator, so that would be
Yeah, makes
Dr.
sense.
Ajiri. Ajiri, do you want to try to do to like lock onto the exterior of the Seterina with the claws?
Yeah, that's a
Heavy
it's
machinery.
a aim roll. Heavy machine. Okay. Heavy machine. Oh, I only have
Push them both to death.
yeah, crush them both to death. They're probably gonna get crushed. Let's
Push
see
that?
here. Yeah. Do I push it from the table? Yeah, I do. Okay.
Just press the push. Yeah.
Ugh.
Alright.
Dang.
So as you're floating close to the airlock, you extend the manipulators, but where you need to grasp, you're just going a little too high, a little too low. It's really starting to stress you out, and like you just can't seem to get a purchase on it. And Berger, you still have to use your maneuvering thrusters to keep the pod steady in the same spot.
Easy.
Very hard. Sorry, Navarre. Hold on, my friend.
I trust you, but he's obviously not in a good way right now.
I'm outside, like, what the hell, guys?
Speaking of which, Drabakowski and Navarre both have to make an air roll. You guys inside are using the ship air, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if we can plug it into a suits or something.
Oh boy. Yep, Navarre is sucking some air. And Drabakowski, you trained in 0G and spacesuits, you're pretty fine.
Yeah.
So without being able to attach to the outside of the ship, all of you would have to do like basically a spacewalk from the ship to ship, which will require a mobility if you can't secure it somehow. Unless you want to switch seats inside the pod and try.
Well, we know Drabakowski's got 0G training, so we're able to just open the claw holding her for her to get onto the ship so she can help us. Well, help Navarre a bit.
You had to open it so you could use the claws to grab on. I'm already free, basically.
Oh, right.
Well, since I'm free, I see that Okay, they're struggling with that. Let me grab the doctor and pull him. We'll get in the airlock, so we don't get crushed.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll let you do the mobility. He's not going to be really any help. He's too like shell shocked to like help perform the maneuver, so it's just going to be on you.
Okay, so I get +2 for 0G.
All right.
Ooh.
Yep. All right. What do you want to do with your extra success?
Would I be able to use it to help the guys in the pod?
Probably not. I mean,
Okay. And obviously I'm already helping the doctor, so I guess just save it.
all right. I'll let you save that for a future spacewalk. All right. You managed to grab the doctor. You kind of pry his fingers off of the metal claw, and you sort of like hold him in a bear hug, and you push off with your feet towards the airlock of the Setarina. And as you do so, you kind of like arch your back backwards, looking towards it. Reach out with your other hand while holding Navarre with your other hand, and then you sort of like soft land with your palm out against the airlock, and you're able to cycle it open.
Mhm.
And you can
The door
feel
opens and I shove him in.
he sort of like unceremoniously sort of like floats and bumps into a couple of things as he like gets launched into the airlock. And all right, you guys are on deck B now. What do
And
you
then
do
with them,
once you get inside? You wait to for the others, or you're gonna close the airlock, cycle it, and then go inside and then set it up again, or what do you want to do?
I would think, given the doctor's state of freaking the hell out, let's cycle the airlock and get him inside, and then can reopen it, and I can assist the other guys with getting in.
Okay. All right, so you managed to get him in. Gray actually comes down to meet you at the airlock once it's cycled, and he kind of takes Navarre in, sort of like trying to calm him down, sit him down, and just kind of like reassure him. Um, and then you go back to the airlock. What would you like to do?
if they're clear of the airlock, I'd like to try and hard lock into it now.
Okay, so I'm gonna still be waiting right there for you guys if you need assistance. So I'm close, but I'm allowing you to attempt to maneuver and grasp on with the pod.
Okay. It's pretty cramped in there, but you're able to like fumble over each other to switch seats.
Okay, in which case, can I make a grabbing check?
Yep. Go ahead and do a heavy machinery. All right. Drive what you do.
There's these two arms. I'm grabbing either side of these bars, heavy steel bars on either side of the door, and bringing us nice and close so we can hop on in.
Okay. Inside the pod, you can kind of feel the metal ka-chunk as like
Oh, sorry, misclicked that one.
as those arms reach out and like the metal claws clamp onto the little insets on each side of the airlock, and you sort of like hear the motors and the servos as you kind of like pull in the shoulders of this machine, and you kind of settle in this like position directly in front, and you are now secured to the outside of the set arena.
For my stunt, can I not need to do the same challenge again?
Sure. That second roll is a mistake roll.
Yeah, that was.
All right, what do you guys do now that you're docked? Well, sort of docked.
Right, Gray.
the-
What's been going on?
Sorry.
What's been going on here, Gray? Tell us about these tentacles.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. You did the hard lock, right?
If possible.
Yeah. All right. So you're hard locked. So Gray greets you. Ah, it's so good to see all of you again. I'm so happy that you're all unharmed.
Literally watched you.
Dr. Navarre, I have him resting in the other room. He doesn't seem to be for this whole, traveling in space sort of thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's not really his bag.
But as far as the ship is concerned, so far things are still manageable, but as you could have seen when you approached, that these strange meteoric impacts have infested the ship in several locations. I'm having a definite hard time trying to keep ahead of it with just myself.
I wonder if maybe. So these are the things that was swarming around the Chiron. I wonder if we could maybe coax one of these squid things out of the impacts.
I'm sorry, a squid thing?
Yeah, we've made the most remarkable discovery of humanity for the past 100 years.
That sounds quite intriguing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you're enthused.
You see a big, weird grin on his face, like a serial killer smile, like, it makes me happy.
Am I right in remembering that we have harpoon guns on the vessel?
Let's see. I'm gonna put you all on the deck layout. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Anything that's left should be in the ship and equipment locker, which should be in the Set Arena folder for characters.
Yeah, there are harpoon guns. I think we might be able to use those to capture one.
Navarre finally comes around. He's like, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just, being outside with the black hole, I just lost control. I'm sorry. What are we,
It's just a
what are we
sudden
doing?
case of the Navars.
Quite all right, Doctor. A black hole is a very formidable thing.
Yes, I think the scientific um, nomenclature would be scary as effing shit.
Yeah, that'd be it. So we were just talking about how we're going to capture a live Heptopus telebarium. And we were thinking harpoons.
Harpoon it? You mean impale it with a harpoon gun?
Yeah.
I mean, we need one of them alive, don't we? Don't you think that might kill it?
Well, that's a risk. Have we got any nets?
Gray says. I'm sure that some of the cargo securing nets in the cargo bay should suffice.
Great idea, Gray.
Why, thank you. I try my best. And he does that weird grin again.
Right. Well, let's stock up and can Can you show us any of the impact sites?
Yes, I would just mind you that I've been trying to stay away from them. Since I'm a synthetic, I don't think there's any danger with physical contact for me, but I think that you might want to stay clear of them.
What I'm hearing is you're volunteering as our canary.
Well, if that's one way to put it, I guess so.
Great, let's get some nets.
Right. Actually, just before that, he's going to say, would you mind one moment terribly if I contacted the captain? I don't feel totally comfortable allowing non-personnel access to certain areas of the ship without her permission.
He'll be fine with it, but go ahead. Let her know we've arrived safe and sound.
So Luger, you're while you guys are, kind of making your way back from the daughter servers, you hear your comms squawk.
Captain, Gray here. Can you read me?
Luger jumps, actually, because she wasn't expecting it. Oh. Yes, Gray, I can. What's going on?
Oh, glad to hear that you're well. We have some of your crew aboard. Dr. Ajiri and company have made it to the Sedrina using an EVA pod.
They have. Interesting.
Yes. Dr. Berger is requesting access to certain parts of the ship to study the anomalies that seem to be growing from the impact craters. I wanted to check with you first because some of them are in areas that you have designated only personnel of the Sedrina have access to.
What areas are you talking about? What are they wanting to go to?
Life support and engineering.
Are those areas functioning at all?
Well, aside from the problem I told you with the compressors where we cannot fill the suits anymore with air, ship-wide air is still functioning. We can still pressurize and I can still keep a normal atmosphere. The engines still need the batteries to cycle, but there's some infestation of these growths starting to make their way into the engine room.
And what is the doctor wanting to do?
He says he would like to investigate. Would you like to speak to him?
No. Let him go ahead.
Should I give them general access to the entire ship then? There are multiple places where these impacts have happened.
Let's just do engineering and life support. Because if they don't learn anything there, there's not going to be much hope in anything else.
Understood, Captain. Oh, by the way, since I've been having some trouble trying to keep up with culling the infestation, I've tasked myself with another sort of project that I think you might be happy with.
What is that?
All of a sudden, you see a light flicker on your little wrist data screen, and all of a sudden, this sort of like image pops in.
Okay.
1 second.
Oh, sorry.
You see a echo location map of the entire station with that shows pretty much all of the causeways and rooms and hallways.
It's a black screen, Sean.
Oh, sorry.
No token.
Let me just put a spectator.
There we go.
And I've also given you all access to open this map on your own. Captain, I've used the ship's sensors and echolocation devices to make a rudimentary mapping of Erebos Station, since I believe I heard over comms that you having trouble circumnavigating. It is not fully detailed, as I do not know what is what, so to speak, but I did label some of the major areas, such as the corrections offices, inmate infirmary, Terminal 1 and 2, so on and so forth, based on our previous knowledge from our benefactor.
Sean, are we meant to see the whole map? Because I can only see the vision radius of the spectator, which doesn't include everything. Unless that's your intention.
Nope, it is not. Let's see. How do I turn off the...
You can turn off fog of war for one map, and it'll make the whole thing visible.
Yeah, getting vision right on maps is such a pain.
lighting. Okay, there it is.
There we
How
go.
about now?
That is very beneficial, Gray.
Thought you might be pleased.
Is there anything else before I let them have access to the designated areas?
Can you keep an eye on what they do and let me know? I mean, pay close attention.
Hi, Captain. Anyone in particular you'd like me to keep an eye on, as I am only one person?
Oh. As many as you can, but whoever's the most active, I suppose.
Affirmative.
I'd like to know what's going on with my ship, but that's all.
I will do my best, Captain. By the way, I have another joke.
Oh, okay. What would that be?
Did you know that diarrhea is hereditary?
Oh dear. No, I did not.
Apparently, it runs in the genes.
Oh my god. Very funny. Very funny, Gray.
I will catalog that as one of your favorites. You may hear it more often as we travel.
Cool. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Gray out.
So Gray turns back to the rest of you.
All clear?
I have been given authorization to give you access to engineering and life support to study the anomalies. Please do not venture far from the designated areas of damage.
Sure. Right, let's get stocked up. Get some knitting.
Yes. I will proceed to collect some netting for you. Do you want to go ahead and assist me, and then we can move on to the damaged areas?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sean, that map disappeared.
Where are
Yeah,
you
it's not
guys?
on there.
Take away our map. No.
If
Yeah,
you,
the
of
ship-wide one's not on navigation anymore.
if you tick on the configuration, it's on the navigation and add it for the default is GM only. Then you just change that and then we can access it.
Yeah, it's very now.
Ah, there we go. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
So, all right. So you guys are currently on B deck. There's actually some some cargo storage areas on B deck that you can start collecting some netting, and if you'd like, you can go ahead and note it in your ad hoc if you have, or if you're carrying netting.
Okay, dokes.
We needed the compression coil to fix the ship, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, since we're back on the ship, I'm gonna put the compression coil in a ship locker. No need for me to keep carrying that around.
You see Gray notices you moving the equipment around. He's like, "Oh, you have a compression coil. That would be most helpful in our repairs."
Yes, figured I would drop this off before we go gathering nets.
If you would like, when you depart again, I can start right away on those repairs.
Well, that sounds like an excellent idea.
I'm not too
Nah.
bad at engineering. If it's not going to take too long, we could do it before we leave.
I think that is a splendid plan. Why don't we go
Right.
to engineering now and check out the damage? And while we're doing so, if you don't mind me taking that back out of storage, we can start the repairs. It might not be right away. I can just get them started, but it would be helpful to get started sooner than later, I would think.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Having the ship available to leave as soon as we need to.
Well, we still got the battery to charge, but yeah, it's a step.
All right, so Gray starts to lead you down the main shaft that's sort of like central to the ship. And you will start going down the ladders to, let's see, where is it? E-deck, all the way near the bottom.
Also, Gray, if we fix the coil and cut the ship loose with the pod, are we going to be able to just maneuver it to the umbilical, or are we going to need the battery charged as well?
Unfortunately, the thrusters are connected to the main drive. We cannot use them without being able to cycle the reactor.
Forgot to note.
Gray sort of leads you to the door leading to the engine room. And so what you see is near the far corner of the engineering room. It looks to be like the wall has kind of buckled inward somewhat, and the deck plating towards the center of the buckling started turning colors from like the mottled gray and silver of the metal of the deck plating to more of a purplish black. You can even see like where there are cracks in the wall, these sort of like just tiny fibers of like purplish black spaghetti like tendrils are starting to snake their way through the cracks and sort of spread out.
If
I've been
I
trying- Go ahead.
if I wave around my CBRN kit, do I get similar readings to the type of things that we've already seen on the Erebus?
Same readings that you would have gotten on the Erebos. Nothing like contagious or radioactive. But it does seem to be somewhat ambiguous as to its nature, either biologic or otherwise. Please be careful. I do not wish you to touch it. We do not know what would happen with physical contact with humans.
Yeah, I think at the source of that is one of these things.
How fast is it growing?
It's interesting
did
that you say that, or ask that question, Dr. Ajiri. Where the other impacts have been on different parts of the ship, the one here near the reactor seems to be growing faster than the rest.
Yeah, the reactor. Yes.
Mm.
Well, actually, that makes sense. We found some experiment on the effect of radiation on the
Shit.
particles from this.
Fascinating. What did you find out?
At a certain level of radiation, they become hyperactive, but beyond that, it seems to either kill it or put it in some kind of stasis.
Oh. Is that a way to increase the radiation levels, but yet keep the rest? Maybe, since radiation will not affect you, Gray, is there a way to somehow break radiation containment and maybe flood the ship with radiation while we are back on the station to maybe keep the growth in stasis?
That's a very interesting theory, Dr. Jury. I mean, we could definitely pull back some of the reactor shieldings and let radiation leak out unobstructed. However, the half-life of the radiation spread through the ship would be a problem. I don't think that in in the long run that would be healthy for any of the crew. Not to mention that I don't think the captain would want me to pull away the radioactive shielding of the reactor.
The particles can only attach itself to dust. Maybe we could vent the ship. You're right, it would be too much to try and clean afterwards.
I do think though that you're on the right track, Doctor. Something to do with levels of energy in this organism based on your observation seems to be somewhat key to this mystery.
Close the things down. We could maybe use that to our advantage if we could. I mean, if this does contain a squid, which is, we don't know. But if it does, we could maybe funnel it towards the reactor. Hopefully that makes it docile to a certain degree.
Well, look, if we want to try, the only way to really know if there is such a creature amongst these growths is to actually expose more of it to the inside of the ship. Is that what you suggest?
Yeah. But we better be careful about it.
I might want to check with the captain before we do something of that nature. Have you a time frame for this experiment?
Well, it's a priority.
Let me ask, and then we can get on it right away. Luger, you're all of a sudden your audio squawks again.
Captain,
Yeah, Gray.
I would like to let you know that some of the crew want to embark on some sort of experiment where they would like to expose more of the ship to the growth. They believe that an organism similar to the one you have encountered might be amongst the growth, and they need a sample of it. Would you like me to proceed and let them expose the ship to more of the growth?
I would like for them to remove any such organisms, and if that is the only way, then so be it.
Do know, Captain, that this will require me removing some of the inner hull deck platings to expose the organics to the inner part of the ship.
Well, that plating is kind of being disintegrated, so I guess there's not much hope in keeping it.
Excellent, Mom. I just wanted to check before I went ahead and let them go ahead
Thank you, Gray.
I will keep you informed. Gray out.
So Gray goes and says, "The captain has given you your blessing, a blessing towards your endeavors. Would you like to proceed?"
Oh yeah. Okay, team. What's the plan? How are we going to approach this? We seal escapes.
I guess I'm having a hard time following the plan. So we're trying to expose the rest of the ship to this organism to accomplish what?
Center of this strange xenomorphic mass. I think that's what we've got the life form in. And if we can coax it out, that's how we grab it.
There is.
Speak it. Sorry, go ahead.
Uh, yeah, I'm not quite sure. Is it possible to remove one of the cooling rods from the reactor and carry it? Or how does exposing the ship? I guess so could you walk me through it again? I don't understand.
Well, I think me and
plan.
Gray are both coming at this from different angles. What was the thing you were talking about removing the plating to do, Gray?
From what I gather, you want is a specimen of a creature, correct?
Correct.
Now, in order to access this creature, we need to give it access to the inside of the ship. Therefore, we would need to remove some of the deck plating in the areas affected with the growth and damage to give said organisms, if there are any, access to the inside of the ship for collection. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah.
Access to the ship. I don't. How does that help open the organism?
What we're seeing here is a growth surrounding it, and it impacted the outside of the ship. So it may not currently be able to get through. Is what I
Why
believe.
would we want it to get through?
So we can
What does
grab
that
it.
jeopard? But would that not jeopardize our return vessel?
Well, it's certainly a risk, but it's been a bit of a risky day, hasn't it, Doctor?
Yes, but I don't know if we should be turning our one-way ticket home into a science experiment.
This is the science experiment.
You know,
Yes, we need to figure out what's going on here and how we can get these off and out of the ship.
So, the goal is to expose it to absorbent amounts of radiation to cause it to open. And to do that, you have to remove plating from the ship. Is that what you're saying, Gray?
Well, I believe that there are two steps here that we are trying to effect. One is to capture a specimen, which requires removing the outer hull plating that is between us and the growth that impacted the ship. The other, if you were so to inclined to expose radiation to it, would be to remove the shielding from one of the reactor cores, which I believe we have decided is a more risky and hazardous endeavor.
Suppose an alternate plan could be that we could spacewalk onto this point of the hull. But I think that could be trickier in being able to get the specimen. My space legs are not great.
Can't we use the pod?
Yeah, we could use the pod. Although it's quite a fine thing to be able to grasp. It's supposed to be like the size of a cat.
So the growth on the size of a cat is on the side of the hull. And do you wish to remove it by removing the plate from the side of the ship? Well, from inside the ship?
The plate removing, is that going to require external engineering?
The most efficient way would be to use a cutting torch and remove the deck plating from inside manually.
Right.
To expose that section of the ship to the vacuum?
Presumably, it's covered with the alien growth, which should provide protection from vacuum. I would gather.
I see. Okay. I understand this.
We could probably use power loaders to assist with the removing of the plates.
No, I don't think that that's a good idea. I think we should probably remove it from the outside. I think that's. I don't think the captain fully understands what we are trying to do here when he gave the okay.
Okay.
As she would have probably appreciate us not cutting holes and exposing the ship to vacuum. If we could do it without doing that, and
Yes, I think we should do it from the outside.
Okay, then if we're doing that, we're going to need to use the pod, and that's going to be useful for digging at the growth. But I don't know how we're going to get the specimen.
Well, can't we cut through the growth? I mean, we don't even know where the specimen is located inside the growth. Either way, we're digging through, a haystack. It's just one method causes destruction and exposes the ship to unnecessary threats, possibly, sabotaging our return flight home, and the other way, could be minimal risks.
Drabikowski, you've got zero-G training. Do you reckon if Dr. Ziri and I operate the pod, that you'd be able to spacewalk on the hull with a net? And as we cut it loose, if you see the creature dig its way out, capture it?
yep. Guess that makes the most sense.
I love how casually you accepted that plan. That's great.
I really don't want to, but I'd much rather study the black hole, but we have to do something.
Right. I think we've debated a lot. Let's do that.
Okay, so what is the plan?
As I understand it, me and Jiri to operate the pod again. I'm going to do the arms this time because I've got good heavy machinery, and use that to dig at the ship, or like to cut the plates around the growth, and then for Drabikowski to be on the hull, and if the creature comes out, to grab it in a net.
And
So
is
she'll
this
need
all
space
going
work.
to be done outside the ship?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're nixing, cutting through the ship to get to the growth.
Well, we're cutting through the ship, but from the outside in rather than the inside out.
Yeah, so we don't create a vacuum.
Okay,
know.
so you're basically not cutting into the ship itself, you're cutting into the growth.
Into the
Yeah.
growth, yeah.
But that's melded with the ship, isn't it?
Started to, yeah.
But it's still got a layer though.
Yeah, so like if you're coming from the outside, you'd hit growth before you would hit ship hull. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's the plan.
Okay. What do you want Gray to do while this is happening?
How are you with spacewalks?
Well,
Or
I suppose
piloting. We need a pilot, ideally.
Oh, he's a bad.
Unfortunately, the captain does not show me the finer details of piloting a ship. I'm usually just for maintenance and repair and other menial tasks, which I am happy to do, of course. That is what I do best. But unfortunately, I'm not skilled in piloting.
Gray.
Yeah.
How frequent were those? Were the storms, or the cosmic bursts that were coming from the black hole? How frequent did they appear? What were the intervals like?
I believe the gravitic anomalies that you are referring to happen probably within cycles of 2 to 4 hours each.
2 to 4 hours each. When was the last one?
I believe it might have been at least an hour ago.
Oh, we better do this now.
Right. Well, Gray, can you help Drabikowski on the spacewalk? And I think we'll leave Navarre in here because he's a useless old fart.
For such an actual dangerous task like a spacewalk, I would like to check with my captain again, if you don't mind.
Becoming your catchphrase.
Ah, humor. I like that. One moment,
Great.
please.
Captain, this is Gray.
Hello, Gray. Again. You must be lonely.
Oh no, there are plenty of people around. And I like listening to your voice on the radio. It's soothing. It's like you are here.
What can I do for you?
So their plan is to cut into the outside of the ship, inward into the growth, not through the hull plating on the inside. This, they believe, requires a spacewalk on my behalf. I'm not fully versed in such maneuvers, and I just wanted to see if you would like me to put myself at risk.
Has he ever been on a spacewalk? Would I know that, Sean?
Yeah, you know, he's never done anything except walk around the ship and do things inside the ship.
And would I be aware that his coordination could handle it, or likely possibility?
Out of character, his agility is 5. So in character, you would know he's pretty spry and adept at moving around.
Craig, if you remove this deck plating, is this going to eliminate any sort of radiation shielding we have in the ship?
It depends on how deep they cut in from the outside, sir.
But if you're there,
I can coordinate the cutting and make sure that they stop at the appropriate depth, so they do not cut through to the main inner part of the ship.
ensure that that remains true. And then go ahead with the spacewalk. Just be extra cautious.
Affirmative. I'm very excited to try this new opportunity.
Gray out.
All right. Gray informs you that he has permission and he's excited to go suit up in the spacesuit.
Great.
Oh, great. It'll be nice to have some assistance.
I look forward to helping you, Drabikowski.
We'll need you to carry a net as well.
Will I be carrying the net or will you?
I already have the net available. Seems like you'll be better suited for the cutting.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, if we'll just have the one big net, if we start to see movement with the two of you, one of you can toss half of it across and then press it down.
There's one caveat with your mission is that we cannot cut all the way through the deck king. We have to make sure that the integrity of the inside of the ship stays intact.
Of course, of course. That's why
Yeah.
we wanted to do it from the outside.
Well, this growth is right next to the reactor, so I don't really want to explosive decompress the reactor.
Agreed. All right. So, does anyone have a torch they want to lend Gray, or let me see if there's one in the.
I do not have a torch.
No, I've not got a torch.
I think there's a torch in the pod still. That I
Is it
brought
in the
with me.
pod's inventory, or is it the cutting laser that's actually part of the pod itself?
Oh, you mean Oh, I thought you meant a British torch. For a flashlight.
Like a flashlight.
Yeah.
Right, so there's no cutting torch.
That's what I
in the
think every time I hear
inventory.
that word. It's torch.
Yeah.
So I mostly do British English these days.
So yeah, the only cutting implement you have, I believe, is, unless one of you has a cutting torch, is
No.
the cutting laser on the actual pod itself. That would have to
Well-
be manipulated by the person inside the pod.
Yeah, oh, that's okay, because I'm happy to do that. I'm good at heavy machinery.
Okay. Let me just get a suit for Gray. By the way, is everyone else staying in suits?
Yeah.
I never got out of it.
So
I guess since I'm going back outside.
I'm going to say that Navarre, since he's not going to be outside, he's taken his suit off, and he's going to give that suit to Gray.
He'd gladly do it. I'm not going back out there.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Navarre is much happier inside the ship.
Yeah, make us some dinner.
I'll be happy to, as long as I'm standing on firm deck plating.
Navarre, could you please keep trying to reach the warden while you're inside the ship? Please let me know if he responds to you at
Yes,
any
I will.
moment.
I will make sure that I continue to try to establish communications with the warden.
Thank you, Navarre.
Yeah,
see-
see what he says. I don't trust them.
So you see Gray walk out from the crew, dressing area, and he's got the Eco 2 suit on. He's like, "This is so exciting. I look like a spaceman."
Yeah.
And his big grin is just plastered on his face like a mannequin.
Yes, Gray, I feel your excitement. I just wish I could study the black hole instead of cut aliens off this ship.
In due time, Dravakowski, I'm sure that we will get to it once we deal with all of these issues.
Yes, yes.
All right, so everyone's suited up that needs to be suited up.
Yeah.
You guys wearing your suits inside the pod?
Yeah, probably better just in case.
Yeah, I'm wearing mine too.
Well, there's no airlock, right? They had to wear it to get in.
Well, they turned it around after they let you in,
Okay.
made a hard seal. So you could just go in because it's pressurized if you want to save your suit.
No, we know where we can get fresh air. Just risk it.
All right. Let me bring you all back to.
Right, so is Yuri okay to pilot it? And I'll use the cutting implement.
I'm afraid my piloting skills would be probably just as bad as my the maneuvering of the arm. I just am not very coordinated with these control sticks.
Well, just try harder, okay?
Okay, yes, Dr. Berger. I'll give
Professor.
it my best. Professor, you'd prefer to be downgraded in your title?
Call me what you want. Downgraded. I got a PhD.
Yes. It surprises me every time I look in and and think about that. You
The
are
universe's primary xenobiotechnologist.
very, you are-
Downgraded.
yeah, you're much more qualified than a Harvard professor or Cambridge for that matter.
Even more once we got the Nobel Prize for this. Let's go.
Yes.
Oops. Accidentally move you, Drabakowski.
Wait, what?
Are you still on the same map, the side view?
I can't see Drabakowski's token.
Yeah, it switched over to the other one, and I was like, wait, what happened?
So, I've got your tokens out. I'm basically just going to say, like, for your roles, you can do it from your tokens there. Gray and Drabakowski's tokens will be actually outside the ship, so you can move them around, where you need to be. And Burger can
We're
move.
going for this one, right?
Yep.
Well, I guess well, they're piloting the ship, so they
Are you guys
pilot
hitting a
around.
ride, or are you going to just spacewalk down to it from the airlock?
You two should probably go from the closest airlock.
Yeah. And after y'all nearly crushed me the last time, I think I'll take my chances with a spacewalk
Yeah.
out of the nearest airlock.
So the ship has 4 external airlocks on deck B. So they're all from deck B. So you still have to go down a few decks outside. So that will require mobility for spacewalk.
And then +2. Oh, I guess I already had an extra one from last time, but I got some more extras now.
Okay, and Gray will do his.
Another extra.
Oh. Gray steps out the airlock and he goes, "Oh, this is not good," and he starts to float away.
Might want to use that stunt.
Yeah. I'm gonna use my extra right there and reach out and grab Gray. Come back here.
You catch him by his, utility belt and pull him back. He goes, "This is much harder than I expected."
Yes, Gray. You always have to hang on to something or be tethered to the ship, or off you go.
I will make a note of that.
Come on,
And you see.
let's go to where we need to and wait for the pod.
And he follows you cautiously. Alright, you guys are strapped into the pod again, and whoever's piloting needs to make a piloting roll to disembark and head towards the spot.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Could Ejiri get maybe a bonus if? Oh wait, he doesn't have a piloting skill, so never mind. That's right, Burger doesn't have any either. So I'll just can't give me a bonus. All right, here we go. Let's see how this works.
Oh,
Let me try harder.
Concentrate.
Concentrate, yes. Oh, I think I got it.
hey.
I
You-
think I'm
you did
getting the hang of this.
The pod lurches a little, but you disembark and you get it straight.
Oh,
and
there we go.
the joystick feels a little more comfortable in your hand now.
Okay,
Right.
just gonna bring it over here.
Okay. You
Now we're
see the
cooking.
running lights on the EVA pod as you move along the deck. transition from regular deck plating as you're moving towards the spot to it starts to get darker and darker with like weird, almost iridescent purple veining in it, as if it would like varicose veins in the actual plating itself. And then you get to the spot where the impact is, and there's just this big knot of like dark purple and black colored like trunks almost sized veins sort of like knotted together down where the meteor had impacted.
Well, this is pretty. Right, I'm gonna try and cut it loose, nice and steadily. Spacewalk team, are you ready?
Where
Ready
should
as
we
I'm gonna be.
do we need to position ourselves for a catch, or what are we doing?
What I'm picturing is if you could stand either side of it, and then if you see a movement, if you could grab the net between the two of you, and slam it down over the thing.
Okay, so Gray sort of looks at you, Drabikowski, and kind of floats himself over to the other side of the hole, but close enough that either of you would probably be able to catch anything that comes out as they're cutting, correct?
Yeah, yeah, and I have the net in my hand ready to toss to him to cover the creature.
So is the plan to like stretch the net between the two of you, or each of you have a net?
Oh, only I had the net, right? I don't think he took one
No. So is it like
because it was a big net.
you're gonna throw half of it over to him, like?
Yeah, I think that probably makes sense.
So like you're sort of like both on each side of the hole. I just want to make sure I picture the space of what's happening. So the pod is directly in front of the impact, ready to cut into the central mass, correct?
Yeah.
And then to each side of this impact hole crater is Drabikowski and Gray, sort of like maybe a little below where the cutting arm is, holding the net low between you so that after you're done cutting, they kind of lift it up and cover this whole space with the net.
I think
Yeah,
that sounds like the best thing instead of trying to from if that would be better than me trying to say throw the net over to Gray because then it might get tangled in the pod.
Right.
yeah, that's what I was thinking first of all, but actually always much better.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are in position. I'm gonna move Gray over to like the other side of the hole, and then I guess you would be on the right side of the hole immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I guess just need whoever's manipulating. I think you can use the low grade laser cutter like like you're doing a ranged weapon. You would just click on the item in inventory to make the roll.
Is it gonna be a heavy machinery or a range combat?
Since it's being shot like a laser, it's going to be ranged combat.
Ah, okay. In which case I'm not great at that.
And I think you need to put in your
Oh, I need
Crew.
to assign myself to the crew. Okay.
skill rating for each. And Ajira, you have ownership of the pod too, so like you can go into the crew and put your name in and your skill ratings.
Okay. In the skill ratings, put my name. Where?
Click on the crew tab inside the pod inventory, like in the double
Okay,
click on the pod so you open the sheet
Copy.
and you see general inventory and crew. You hit crew.
Crew. Copy. Put my name in. Okay.
So you're piloting.
Okay.
I think Hedstrom, your name disappeared. I don't know why. There it is. And then put in your piloting skill. And if it's not anything, you got to put in your base skill, which would be agility.
Okay.
Alright. And then that means whoever's cutting can just click on the low grade laser.
It says no crew have been assigned when I click on it. I could just roll it from a sheet because.
Yeah,
Is
My
there,
ability's 3.
is there any bonus from the weapon?
nope.
Well, I'll just roll it from a sheet. Ooh. Well, unless I do something silly with my panic, that's alright. Hey.
Alright, so describe what happens.
So that was a very good roll. So, like, very, very carefully, I'm getting the laser cutter in a sort of arc pattern underneath, on the opposite sides of where the net is. It's more, yeah, and steadily cutting around the growth, looking for that telltale movement in it.
Okay, so you're kind of like cutting through all of this trunkage, right?
Yes.
Okay. The beam starts to cut, and you can kind of see the flashes of it from where you're looking from the bulbous window. All of a sudden, under what seems to be pressure from inside the trunk, this purplish green liquid sort of like sprays out in all directions.
This is it.
Shit.
And whatever it touches, you can see starts sizzling.
Ooh.
Oh,
And
gross.
Gray and Drabikowski are both in engaged range. So I need to roll Acid Splash. The laser does 2 points of damage. Gotta do modified. 2 points. Alright, so both you roll your armor. It's gonna do 1 point.
Oh.
So yeah, the acid gets on you, Drabikowski, and starts to burn through. The heat itself is probably what's causing your pain at the moment. His armor. Alright. Gray's armor is able to absorb the splash, but his armor goes down to 7. And you can see that the stuff is starting to eat through your suit, Drabikowski.
Okay. Oh shit! It's eating through my suit. And I better get back inside before this eats all the way through.
Just raise your stress by 1. And you see Gray says, "Yes, you got to get inside immediately." I'm going to say that as you're traveling, are you heading directly for the airlock again?
Yeah.
So I need you to make an air roll. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It also has time to do another bit of damage to you. Let's see. Yeah. It does another point of damage to you as you're traveling.
So I'm down to 1 health.
See, what are you guys in the pod doing?
How far is it to the airlock? Can we assist her?
Well, I had an extra point of mobility for spacewalk from earlier.
Okay.
My eyes are still locked on the growth.
Okay. You see Gray is on the radio, and he's like,
Professor Navarre, get to the airlock immediately. We have an injured person. Drabakowski has some sort of acidic substance eating through her suit. Get there right away. Yes, I'm at the airlock now. Drabakowski, hurry up and get in. I'll try to get the suit off you as fast as I can.
Yes, I'm entering the airlock now.
Is the
Okay.
suit? Doesn't this game have decompression rules? I've never used one before in this game.
It's got rules.
Is the
If you're
acid
in-
actually? It penetrated the suit because it's burning her? Is that how it's working?
The heat is getting me.
"Yeah,
It
I'm
hadn't
gonna
gone
say
through the suit yet.
The heat.
It's-
Well, okay.
it's just about to." Like, as you get into the airlock, I'm gonna say you close the door behind you. You start to feel intense heat pick a part of your body.
I would say probably my arms, because we would have been standing there with our arms out, ready to throw the net.
Okay, I'll say based on the way you guys were situated, it's sort of your left arm, and you start to really feel it. You gotta wait for the air to cycle for Navarre to come in and help you. So I'm going to roll one more. Now 2 dice. It seems like it had just burnt out just as it was reaching the inner layers of your suit.
That's crazy.
And
Impatiently in the airlock, willing for it to hurry up and cycle. And when I notice the sizzling starting to slow down.
see the air pressurization indicator goes green, and the door opens, inner door. Navarre runs in and goes, "Dare, you okay? Let me help you. What? Let me get that suit off you." And he starts to like do the little hinges and latches to kind of get the arm piece off first, and it sort of like clicks off, and you can like smell the smoke now when he takes the arm off, because it's, now you're smelling the air inside the airlock, and it's this very caustic, burny, kind of like burnt rubber smell. "Are you okay?"
Yes, it looked like it stopped eating through my suit just in time.
He looks at you,
It
and
didn't actually get to me, but damn, it was hot.
you seem, and you can look. You pull up the sleeve of your suit, inner suit, and you can kind of see like almost like a sunburn where the acid had almost eaten through to. "Dear, you should get to the infirmary."
Yes. Definitely should put something on this.
And he starts to escort you, to the infirmary. Meanwhile, outside, Gray sort of like radios the pod.
Professor Berger,
Yeah, that was unexpected.
I believe that proceeding might be too dangerous. I suggest that we stop the cutting.
Yeah, we're gonna need to rethink our approach here. Wasn't expecting acid.
It's amazing organic structure using some sort of acid as its way of photosynthesis, since it seems to be somewhat like a plant. I don't know. Fascinating, though.
Yeah, it's a tricksy one. Maybe we need to go back to the drawing board and do something with radiation.
And what do you guys want to do now?
What happens in the immediate aftermath of it hissing? Like, is there any sign of anything moving within this mass?
You give a good look. You said that you were basically staring at it while you were cutting it.
Yeah.
All you really saw within the lights of the EVA pod, trained down on your cutting, is that it just seemed to be a solid mass. There didn't seem to be any pockets or voids or anything separate than the trunks themselves.
Damn it. Right, we better get back in. Unless you've got any other ideas, Doctor.
No. There's no point knowing when we might hit another pressurized part of this structure. I will bring the craft back. I hope that she's okay. Do I need to make a? I'll make a piloting check.
Yep. So Gray's able to pretty well handily get himself back to the airlock. See what you're. Right. Starting to get the hang of that pod.
Nice work. And then I can also succeed on clamping it because of the past heavy machinery.
Okay. So you go ahead and you head back to the airlock and hard dock again, I assume, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to switch scenes now.
Yeah.
Go back in time a little bit. Let's see. Where are you guys? Deck H. Meanwhile, can everyone see?
Yeah.
I can't. Oh, yeah, it's just a bit.
All I see is the Into the Void and the personnel airlock.
Okay, try
I-
selecting, like character select out beyond everything, and then try to character select right around here.
Oh, where? I didn't see where you. Oh, there we. Okay, now I can see.
Yeah, I'm on now.
Okay, we'll just say that you've had communications between them, and you might have been taking your time, sort of like relaxing after all the harrowing events of the last couple of hours. So you're still sort of in the comms tower.
Refresh my memory as to where this EEV vehicle is meant to be. I can't remember.
The EEV or
The
what EEV?
the part from the Kronos, whatever they.
Oh, the lifeboat.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's right.
It's a very large
go-
EEV.
So if you go to the map that Gray was able to give you,
Yeah.
from what you've been told from Berger's group, that it should be in Terminal 01 in the hangar bay, which is kind of like this big empty space. You guys are currently over here in the comms tower.
All right. Well, Terminal 1 is where I want to head.
Absolutely, Captain. We need to find out as much as we can about these creatures,
I
especially
agree.
as this data is compiling.
Exactly. And no sense waiting around for it here. So while we wait, let's go.
Very well.
So we
And
have to go
just,
back through the android corridor.
All right, so you go down, you transition from 0G to full G in the stairwell, and you head back down Well, actually, you head back up. I think it would be to deck G. Sajad.
Yes.
For a little while now, you've been feeling like you've been taught was like textbook signs of radiation poisoning. You don't feel it anymore. You feel like whatever it was is gone. And out of character, you can take off your rad poisoning button.
Okay.
I hear the sounds of a fire.
I think you did learn in the last, or I don't know if it was just Dr. Jiri's group.
Oh,
that
yes.
There was a plasma fire on half of the station.
All right. By the way, the recording can't see anything.
Try, can you use,
There you go. Yep, I forgot that trick. Yep, we're good.
Alright, as you guys head back towards the center of the station, Dr. Lark, before you realized when you were in an area, certain areas of the ship, of the station, especially where there were these growths, you started to see like these blue, purplish colored motes in front of your eyesight, as if like, you were seeing stars. You see them now constantly. You can't get rid of them.
Did that start like when we came down here, or I still noticed it upstairs when we were in the daughter area?
Ever since you left Deck G to go to the daughter mainframes and then come back, it's been a steady progression of they just keep getting more frequent and brighter, and now they're just constantly in your vision.
Yeah, I think Lark isn't gonna say anything to either of them, but as you're walking along, like every once in a while, she kind of does the stereotypical human thing and like rubs her eyes with the back of her hands, and blinks pretty hard, looks around. But yeah, not saying anything to the other members of the crew quite yet.
And Luger, you give a throaty cough while you're moving, and it's a wet one.
Right.
Like there was no way to, like both of them saw you kind of lurch forward as you coughed.
Okay. Just gross, but I'm not gonna swallow that.
Does the medkit we have any sort of diagnostic stuff, or is it just, purely bandages and that kind of supplies?
It's just triage kind of stuff.
Okay.
Captain, I'm no medical doctor, but it looks like a problem.
Yeah, it's been happening. I've been coughing up stuff. This was the worst it's been. I don't know what we've been exposed to here, but with all the other crap going on, is it surprising?
I think
I
it's
was
more
thinking-
concerning
Oh,
how you
go ahead.
might have been exposed while wearing a vacuum suit.
Yeah, that's exactly what, Lark is, searching her memory. Did the captain ever take his helmet off? Or take her helmet off?
Not that you're aware of.
Never.
Could it
Curious.
be the electromagnetic interference?
Is the suit
Black hole?
resistant to radiation?
You know that most spacesuits have a general resistance to, solar radiation, like just your average stuff you would encounter in outer space.
I'm not really sure how it's happened, but there's no way to do anything about it now. I think the only thing is to press on. We're not in a medical facility now. I've yet to see one, actually, since we've been here.
I agree. I believe the faster we move, the better.
Yeah, I mean, clearly here is not a place to do anything for me, so let's press on. And if I don't know, I seem to be taking this so casually, but there's just so much. I mean, there's a goddamn black hole out there. I just, what else? You know?
I think we all just need to take a deep breath and put one foot in front of the other. We'll make it. As soon as we can find some medical supplies, we'll get you sorted out, Cap.
We got those goddamn Joes to deal with down here again. I'm not in the mood for them.
They were not hostile last time.
Well, we were able to outrun them, but I don't know what they'd be like if we weren't.
It seems like they are at least partially in some way under the influence of the alien being we found. Met.
Did I lock this door? I think it was me who did it.
No, I did it to slow you down for 1 second.
Oh, okay. We're running. Wait!
So, you guys get to this door as you're talking. You're not quite... Well, I guess it wouldn't matter whether you rolled observation or not. You can go ahead and open it. The floor in front of you is covered with these squids running around.
The tiny little ones?
Like the football-sized ones. And they stop as you open the door and sort of like undulate where they are. And then one by one they seem to clear a path for you.
Okay, weird.
Captain, I believe they're all being controlled by that creature we met earlier. I think they're avoiding us, allowing us to continue to fulfill its mission.
See, the squids are like pulsing like nervous energy as you walk by, as if like they're fighting their own nature to just stay still.
Yeah, and I think Lark, when I pass the last one, she's gonna like take a step towards one and see if it like pulls back or if it like, you know, tries to jump out at me.
When you do, you see it sort of like rears itself as like a cobra, and then it like scrunches down as if it's going to leap. Then, like in the back of your head, you hear some hum or just disjointed noise coming from somewhere, and it seems like it hears it too, and it backs off.
Fascinating.
Most curious.
Is it all of us or just you?
Did anyone else hear a humming noise just now?
Did we, Sean?
No.
No, I didn't hear anything.
I might have to run diagnostics when we get back to the set arena.
If there's a better sign that we're doing the right thing, I don't know what it is. What it might be.
Well then, let's carry on.
So Jad, you notice while you're walking, no one else seems to notice, you start to get a runny nose. And now, whose suits helmets are on and whose are off?
Mine's on.
Mine is off,
Right.
so
I
that's
would get-
off.
Would you like go to dab your nose?
I think so. I think so.
When you do, you pull your finger back and it's jet black. The liquid that's dripped from your nose.
Well, this is concerning. I think I'm being affected by the same thing you are, Captain.
Well, the presence of a suit doesn't matter then.
I urge caution. We should retain your suits, given the presence of fire on the station. We may
Yeah.
need them.
I'm nearly out of air though, so we'll see how much longer that lasts. Is this Joe doing anything?
He's standing there watching you. He says, as you pass, see the light. Oh wait, sorry. 1 second.
You see the lights. I know. You see the lights.
Yes,
He says
brother.
that directly at you, Lark.
Yeah, and she like locks eyes. Yes, yes, brother. We see the lights. And like, you know, if he doesn't like acknowledge or anything, she just keeps walking past. But obviously, like on her face is like a little bit of discomfort at this connection.
Yeah, he just stands still, but his eyes follow you as you pass.
Lark suddenly understands the meaning of the word creepy.
Sorry, I've gotten ahead. I will wait for you to catch up.
While you do so, I need you to make an air roll.
Still got it. My one air. It's hanging on. Keeping my breaths controlled.
Now in here you see those growths. They seem to be more propagating than before. They seem to have spread. Do you
Brilliant.
make any like care to avoid them anymore?
Kind of gotten a little bit of courage, basically, since everything's avoiding us. Maybe because we carry the plague. We are unclean.
As you've been traveling, one of you or all of you make an empathy roll.
Empathy. What the? God damn it. Alright, keeping it together. I
So is
have-
that both of you guys rolled? So
Yeah, I
Lark
did.
can roll one.
Yep. Okay. Aside from a little bit of nervous tension for Luger, nothing really happens. But you, Lark, again, there's like a buzzing in the back of your head. You think you hear something.
Remember the deal.
And it goes away.
Lark hears that and like as walking out of the assembly hall and like turns around and almost frantically like slaps the panel to close the door behind her. Takes a deep breath and then like follows along, trying not to alert the other two.
So
I have a
Josh-
feeling Sajad would see it, but kind of just like nod like he's not I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, Lark's like face is devoid of emotion by the time she like locks eyes with you and just, you know, continue on.
Luger, as you've been walking along, sort of ahead of the others, you could have sworn you saw like purplish stars kind of float through your vision briefly, but they were in the form of like squiggles instead of stars, as if like something was squirming in front of your vision, and then it goes away.
I don't let anyone know.
Okay.
Other than, well, I think I'm seeing the lights. That they're
Oh, really?
Friendly Joe. The purple.
The small circles that are sort of floating around the whole station right now.
Well, to me they look like little squiggles. If that's a word.
Curious. That is not what I've been observing.
Maybe they appear different for us all.
Indeed, it appears that mechanical and biological tissue reacts differently. And yet both are affected.
These things out of our way as we...
These weren't here the last time you came down. This is the way that you came from when you first entered the station.
Yeah.
It's definitely grown further into the station from this area. And another thing you notice, right where you are, you know that you had welded these doors shut. But now you look at them and they don't look like doors anymore. They almost look like a fleshy, like an aortic valve from a heart. That's like 3 flaps that kind of converge on a seam. No longer metal, but like this purplish black flesh. All of like the structural beams that were like the trusses and everything along here have seemed to have transformed into like giant rib cages, bone, with this purplish black flesh strewn between each truss. And along the corridor are these masses of this like undulating flesh-like material. And while you're standing there sort of taking this all in, this door that you knew you welded shut sort of like peels itself open like a fleshy heart valve. There's like a burst of like air that's got some sort of like dusty moat stuff that kind of blows out. And Joe steps to the door.
You have seen the lights. See the lights.
Yes, we have.
Proceed.
Fascinating.
That's the same with all the doors you had welded prior. They all just look like fleshy valves.
It's not a growth, it is a fundamental transformation of the inanimate into something alive.
Yeah, I feel like we're inside of a living creature.
Perhaps we are.
Oh, sweet Jesus, what is this?
So you get to that door. It's, again, it looks like the heart valve, but it seems impassable at the moment. All of a sudden, Luger, while you're standing there, you start to get a headache. And you see these squiggles in your vision are not just optical illusions, but as you tilt forward from the headache, you see one of these iridescent purple squiggles fall from your eye and hit the inside of your visor. And it's this small, wriggling worm, iridescent purple worm.
I don't think I'm long for this world.
You wish to enter. Do you honor the deal?
Did we all hear that, or just the captain?
All of you hear it.
So I tried to think. I tried to really focus my thoughts and think, yes, we need to proceed to help you.
Do all honor the deal?
Out
Yeah.
loud, Lark said, yes.
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 Okay. And when you do so, I'm not going to unlock the door quite yet. There's something I want to show you. You see the seams of this heart valve door start to ply themselves open with like this gooey substance sort of stretching between the flaps. The door flaps open, and you see... One second. Sorry, I got some reason the image for this journal is not where it's supposed to be. I mean, it's not there. One second. Sorry for the delay here, but
It's alright.
pretty important. I don't want you to miss it. I will change the music to the music it's supposed to be. Can you guys hear a different song? Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, all of you, as this heart valve opened up, feeling of like undeniable dread sort of washed over you. All of you gain a stress.
Luger's reaction to that is just almost like, in a weird way, just blasé, just kind of like, just feels the doom and feels helpless, and it's just like almost oblivious, but definitely is not oblivious.
The door opens and this shimmering purple mist kind of flows at your feet, billowing out from the space beyond. Can you guys still hear stuff? It sounded like it
Yes.
cut out.
It stopped.
Huh. That's weird.
Now I hear it again.
I can hear it now.
Okay. When the mist billows out, it covers the entire view of the space beyond until it filters through beyond you, behind you, enough that you see the full vastness of Terminal 1 and what lies inside it, which is this. An enormous chunk of obsidian that seems sculpted, smooth, large trunks of iridescent purple snaking out from it, connecting to different parts of the terminal. It takes up pretty much the entire space. Can you guys see the hand up?
I
Yeah.
can, yeah.
That's weird. You guys still by the terminal, or did you kind of zoom away?
Yeah, it zoomed away for a second for some reason, but yeah, I can
Yeah,
move back.
It jumped for me too.
It's back. The game is paused. There we go. Is that door open?
Yep.
I go in almost like in a trance.
When
Same.
you pass the threshold and it's 0G, you start to float.
Is there any momentum from when we did have gravity that I'm still moving in that direction?
Yeah, you're kind of like floating forward slowly, or like in this direction. You can see a few EVA pods free floating in space inside the space of the hangar. Can everyone else see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Like-
Yeah.
Okay. And you hear an unmistakable rhythmic pumping sound coming from deep within the center of this obsidian mass.
I think we found the heart.
You're drawn to it. Does anyone want to make any sort of like controlled movements, or are you just sort of floating?
Is it?
You'd just be like heading this direction.
Yeah, so there's nothing to grab onto, so I only have the option for that. There's no jets on this suit, is there?
There are maneuvering thrusters.
Oh! Sorry, in that case, I want to get close to the heart, as I'm calling it. Do I need to make a
Can,
mobility for that?
Yes.
I think Lark is just going to use the wall, like not recklessly flying in, but yeah, trying to like climb along.
Yeah, same.
Sorry, I'm just seeing if I had any bonuses, but I do not. Yeah, woohoo. And gain a +1 to a later skill roll relating to this one for my stun.
Okay, so you don't have to roll to maneuver again next time. As you're getting closer, Luger, these squiggles are like pouring out of your eye sockets, just dripping inside your suit, squiggling away into the corners of your vision. You can feel your heart sinking with the beat of the rhythm coming from this huge monolith. Lark. The motes of light in your vision are swirling at an insane speed now, almost to the point where you're starting to not be able to see clearly.
Is anyone else having issues with their vision in here? This is quite concerning.
I've got all kinds of worms pouring out of my eyes.
Did you say worms?
Yeah, what I was, all the lights, the quote-unquote lights that I'm seeing have been worms floating in my cortex.
Luger.
Not cortex, but the corneas.
Luger, all of a sudden your suit starts to feel very tight and small.
Who? Did you say that to?
Luger.
Oh. I want to call out. Ali!
When you do, your pain and the vision clear. The uncomfortableness inside your suit subsides. And the worms sort of like go dormant.
Sorry, I couldn't understand a word of that.
I'm here.
So
Come to me, child.
I'll step forward. Or float forward. Do I see any sort of openings on this?
Do not. It all seems pretty seamless.
Any heart
However, you
valves?
None from your vantage point. You do seem to be feeling like you're being drawn further on past whatever this would be considered the front, maybe. You're more drawn towards the rear.
So with these thrusters, is there a space between the ceiling and it? I can't remember from the picture.
There's enough space that you could maybe squeeze like one EVA over the top of this thing, just barely.
And I want
So,
to
yeah.
thrust up and then over.
You can definitely do that. I don't know if it's going to show that, but
I'm up over the top of it, at least in my view.
okay.
Yeah, I can still see it, okay.
I thought I might go under it, but
like Lark's like calling out because apparently like Luger just like disappears. You said you're kind of like mindlessly going that direction, right? Like
Yeah.
on something. Yeah. It's like slow down, Captain, slow down. As she like clambers up the wall to try to get over this thing as well.
Lark, she's calling me.
I hear her too, but perhaps we should exercise caution before we follow everything the voice says.
I've been searching for her for years.
Lark like looks towards Sajad and mouths the word years.
I don't know, Dr. Lark, but I say this. I think it's pretty clear that I'm looking at this with like absolute awe, and I'm trying in my brain to think like coherently or try to visualize the thoughts of to honor the deal we must understand.
You don't get anything of what you would consider an answer, but you just feel this inexorable draw to the back of this thing.
Do I need to go over it, or can I go around it to look at the back?
You can go. There's enough space to go either way. Just
So I'll go around.
Oh, you might want to go this
Lark's
way.
gonna follow Luger up and over.
When you start to see Sajad, that you're gonna run out of space pretty quick over here.
Okay.
If you want to go around, you're gonna have to go top side.
Oh, okay. Then I'll go topside as well.
Luger, you see an image of a being standing, somehow defying zero-G here.
I'm gonna
Internal
go down and use my thrusters to get down to the surface there.
Just as you approach, the being that's in front of you begins to open its arms, sort of like awaiting an embrace.
Allie?
You found me.
Luger starts to cry. What has happened?
Paradise has happened. I am perfected. We can all be perfect now.
And you see she like moves towards you and gives you an embrace, like a loving hug embrace.
Luger will be stunned and not really embrace back. A look of confusion still on her face.
Sajad, Lark see person. Oh yeah.
Sean, I don't know if you know, but there's no token there at all of
Oh, sorry.
this being.
And, can you see her now?
Yeah.
She releases her embrace, and then she looks over to you, Sajad. She sort of floats, like her feet sort of like raise up slightly off the deck and floats over to you and reaches out her hand to you, palm up.
I'm going to kneel down and take and kiss the hand.
You can believe. You will be rewarded.
I believe.
What are you doing, Lark, at this point?
I think when Lark saw Sajad go down and like noticed the presence of this creature, she kind of did her best to like hold where she was to see, you know, kind of what the interaction was. But like, does she also feel this pull?
You feel the pull towards the inside of this mass. You don't feel a pull specifically towards the creature.
Yeah, I think Lark would be just watching like every little detail of what their interactions are, and not making her presence known.
Just out of character, where's your token? I can't see you.
I'm like right behind the two of them, like up on the ship here.
Oh, okay.
Right here?
Yeah. For some reason, the ship is always like in front of my view.
Oh, okay.
Like somewhere around here.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I can see her.
Okay. So the creature, the being, lets you, show your fealty. It retracts its hand and kind of like floats back over this way. Its eyes turn to you, Lark, even if like you're trying to be obscured from view. It sort of sees through anything that's between you and it, and you hear,
Come, my child. Come to me.
She says that to Lark.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Lark. Yeah, Lark, like, makes her presence obvious and says, "Yes, I agree. Yes, I swear loyalty. I'll stay up here, though."
All of a sudden, there's a sharp pain in your cortex.
Come to me.
Never having felt pain in her cortex, Lark lets out like an involuntary, like, and like scrambles down this ship to like, in the 0G to get closer to this thing very quickly.
There was a brief moment, Luger, that you saw like a feral anger in the eyes of this creature.
I accidentally dropped my token in what appears to be maybe an entryway into this little ship.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, why don't we also everyone head to that spot.
There are two of me, and two of Lark.
There are two.
There's
just
three of me.
This is the weirdest part of the whole cinematic. there's now 12 of us.
Nice. All right, start deleting some of you, please. Until you're down to one.
I forget how to do that. Oh,
Function
yeah, there
and
we
delete.
go. Yep,
Or backspace, whatever your keyboard has.
yep, got it. There we go.
Saying I don't have permission to delete. I'm not trying to delete.
said function. Oh, that was on the Mac. For whatever
Yeah.
reason, it's not deleting any of mine when I select them. Oh, there goes one. Okay.
Can everyone else see?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm gonna attach a couple more views here before we continue. And the all-seeing eye appears again.
The eye of the beholder.
By the way, this music that you made, Andy, is so perfect for this event.
Yeah, I know. It's the most horrific thing I've ever composed.
Is it adding anything?
Yes, even though I know, even though I made it, but blame the composers of the Conjuring films.
Everyone should have a spectator now.
Yep.
So you're standing at the back. There's a. This is like another one of those large heart valve type doors. The being who apparently is your long lost aunt moves towards it, sort of floating effortlessly without moving. It waves its hand in front, and the thing kind of peels itself open.
Child, enter, but be cautious. You must find the key that we cannot. But be careful and don't anger the others.
Allie, this is not.
Go ahead.
Allie, this is not perfection. This is metamorphosis. The species has convinced you of this.
You will see perfection.
That is your opinion. We are human to convert all species to be you. That isn't how it works. She goes in, hopefully finds some more answers.
You see when you were speaking to her that there was almost like a moment of confusion and doubt in its eyes. But then it, as soon as you noticed it, it was gone. And all of you here.
Enter and honor the deal.
Actually, do you guys want to take a break?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. A couple
Take our
minutes.
mid-session break.
Okay.
Yeah, that's alright.
5-ish, 10-ish, 5-ish minutes.
That's all I need.
Okay. Be back in a moment. switch back for a little bit to the other group. Where were you guys? I forget.
Saturina.
You're on- Oh yeah, you're on the third.
Yeah. I had just gotten almost burned by the acid and was being taken to medical.
You guys are inside now, right?
Yeah, we managed
I
to.
am.
Okay.
Did y'all make it back?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna bring up this map. If you don't have a token there, just drag it out to deck B into the circle, please.
Game is still paused, Sean.
Thank you.
There's two. No, that
Oh, I think I deleted you, Dr. Jerry.
Yeah, we did at the same time.
Need Nevada too.
All right. I'm gonna say a little time has passed since you returned to the ship. I'm gonna say that you've had time to recoup 2 points of health,
Ooh.
Kowski. You know, with medical care.
What about my stress? Stays the same.
I'm gonna say you get to go down to just 1 stress instead of 3.
Okay.
Everyone else can de-stress 2.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say that you're all sort of like huddled in the infirmary, sort of like, you know, making sure Drabikowski's okay. Well, at least Navarre is going to be there. Where are the rest of you going to be?
I'll be in the infirmary as well.
Yeah.
Dear, your arm, is it any better?
Yes. That acid or whatever you want to call it didn't manage to burn all the way through the suit, but it did get very, very hot. So that made it through my inner suit. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it was a crazy movement back there.
And out of character, I need you to delete the suit. It is no longer any good.
Okay.
What was that stuff? Where did it come from? How did this happen?
I don't know. That is a great question. And I'm guessing it did not damage the hull of the ship. We don't have vacuum there.
Gray pipes up. Fortunately, it didn't seem to affect the inner part of the ship. It seems like there was some sort of pressurization inside its release that shot it outward and away from the ship. Unfortunately, that's where we were.
Well, that's good. It didn't damage the ship. But it's also good to know we're not cutting those things off.
Were you able to find any creatures?
I couldn't see anything around in it after everything went down.
Gray pipes up. I had a good look as you were cutting. It doesn't seem like there was any sort of sustaining network for any sort of individual creatures. It just seemed like a mass of singular growth. I don't think that you'll find what you're looking for in it.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I think my theory might have been incorrect. I thought it might have been like a pod producing these things, but be something else. I think we need to go back onto the Airbus.
But go back? Why would we want to go back? Why don't we just send one of... Why would we have the other team meet up with Warden Stikes? Why would we need to leave the ship again?
Well, if you wanted to do that, for a start, Stikes is on the Airbus. Plus, we don't want to meet up with them.
Why? Why do you keep saying that?
You heard him on the radio. I think he tried to keep us away from the ship whilst he could with the umbilical. He thought we'd perished in the crash. And now he wants to lure us there to kill us.
Why
Well,
would he
unless we have
want
another
that?
suit on board, I'm kind of grounded here.
Well, Gray doesn't need his. Oh, mind
That
you,
is
that was
correct.
Navarra's suit, wasn't it? Mind you, we don't
Yeah.
want to take Navarra back with us. It's probably best he stays here.
I'm 100% for that.
Yeah, I knew you would be. Maybe put that PhD to some use and start studying the growths.
I actually was thinking of doing just that.
Or you were.
Yeah, and he looks to you, Drabikowski. You sure you want to go back? Why don't you help me here with the study of these growths? I mean, we're going to have to deal with it at some point to get this ship ready to leave. There's no reason for you to put yourself at harm's way.
Well, alien creatures are definitely not my thing. I would like to get more information about the black hole.
Yes, that's true. I suppose you won't be able to find much of that information on board. You'll have to do some venturing out.
Just since the station was here so
Speaking of
long with the black
which,
hole.
that data device that we found was connected to some kind of sensors. And now that we've got Gray here, Gray, perhaps you could translate it.
Oh, do you have a device that you would like me to look at?
Yeah, Drabikowski's got it.
Oh, that was in the pocket of my suit.
Would you like me to retrieve whatever's left in your suit, ma'am? Or I don't want to
Yes.
intrude.
What data device?
One we found in the in Mother. Hooked underneath it in a secret compartment.
Out of character, do you have something listed on your sheet, Saul, for that?
Yeah, it says backup recorder.
Is that like in your ad hoc?
No, it's actually in the inactive items.
Oh, okay. So, since it's in your suit, you want to go ahead and let Gray access to it to get it?
Yeah.
Okay. You see, Greg says, I will be back shortly. I just have to go back to the airlock to retrieve the item. And he sort of like leaves the area.
Well, I'd be curious to see what's on that thing. Maybe that'll give us some answers. But if not, I think it's probably the next step is to meet up with the rest of the team. They've encountered multiple squids, it sounds like.
No.
Has
I
anyone
will
heard
be
from them?
the squids. No, I have not seen the squid. Have heard from them.
I mean, from the team. Has anyone heard from the other team?
No, we have not contacted them. That's right. We were too distracted with Drakowski's incident outside. I have forgot to contact them on my return. Yes, let's do that now. Do I need to go to the deck to do that? Is that in?
Unless you're in your suit still with suit comms, would you have taken your suit off?
No.
You're walking around with your suit on?
Actually, I would have taken my suit off. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you just have to go to like the bridge probably to the communications array.
Okay. Dr. Navarre, were you able to contact the warden?
No, I kept trying, but even the signal that they sent, I tried to home in on that frequency, and I haven't heard any response whatsoever. It's just very strange. Why would he contact us and then just cut us off?
I don't know. He was mentioning something about his timing being related to Mother temporarily being locked out of access to the communications. Are they? I'm having a hard time remembering it, but it was something along those lines.
Mother would have had good reason to do that.
Do you think it might be possible Mother could be corrupted?
Possibly, but I don't see how this thing could interact with AI.
I'm
Yes,
not sure that's actually correct. I mean, we've noticed that the whatever those motes of light were in that device, I mean, they seem to react to energy. Maybe they're able to piggyback on it. That could be any sort of like electricity, radiation.
Also, the working Joes. That's what the other team was mentioning. Something about the working Joes just being odd.
Right.
Unless Mother had something to do with them as well.
I feel it's still the priority for me to contact the warden. I've humored you in this little science experiment, Dr. Hedenstrom, but from now on, I'm going to make efforts to continue to contact the warden. I feel that
Well, you
in
can
your...
contact him from here, but I'm not going to walk into a trap.
I don't know why you keep thinking it's a trap. The only trap that I see is you seem to be prioritizing this obsession with this organism over being able to return back to Earth.
Hey, I want to return back to Earth just as much as you do, right? But it's us and our team against all this bizarre and amazing stuff. But we can't trust it.
I don't know.
The
This
warden's
type
been
of
on this station since this all started. It will have got its tendrils into him.
I feel in my heart that there is a holdout somewhere in the ship with not just the warden but the rest of the facility that I I feel they're there and they need help. And just all we're doing is delaying it and putting each other at risk. I mean, Dr. Drabowski could have died out in the vacuum. Thank God it didn't burn through all of her suit layers. I can't stop you from what you're wanting to pursue. I'm going to go and try and make contact with the warden myself.
Well, I can't stop you.
Just as you're talking, Gray returns. I'm sorry, I've not managed to retrieve any sort of data recording device. I searched the suit, but I don't know if it was, I don't know, maybe thrown about when you took it apart, Navarre, or what, but I couldn't find any data recording device that you mentioned. Have you possibly placed it somewhere else, Ms. Drabakowski?
Oh, I placed it in my suit as soon as we recovered it from Mother.
I don't remember this recording unit.
The one we found underneath the Mother terminal.
With the crispy guy in the chair.
It was in the
And
floor
we
underneath
couldn't
the
read it.
chair.
That's right, because it was...
All in Russian.
Yes, it was all in Russian.
But we know that it's hooked up to sensors.
I'm sorry, Mom, but I mean, the suit has been sitting in the airlock for at least a half an hour. I might have lost track of where it could have gone if it was in there. Like, someone could have kicked it around, maybe misplaced it. I'm not sure.
When was the last time you remember seeing it?
When I
Drabowski?
secured it in the pocket.
Which was when?
when we were in the mother terminal. When we were watching the person climb into that pod and then come out all transformed.
There's a possibility it might have fallen. I don't know. That's unfortunate.
Did I not secure the pocket well enough? How well was the pocket secured?
I wouldn't beat yourself up too much about it, Mum. These things happen. I'm sure if it's important, it'll turn up.
So clumsy.
Navarre's like, what did you say, Burke? Burger?
Drobakowski, you knew how important that thing was.
Yes, yes, and I placed it in my pocket for safekeeping. Who knows what happened between getting crushed by the pod trying to come in and getting burned with the acid and the running from the creatures in the station?
Listen, let's just do this the once, right? If you've got anything you want to tell the group in this life or death situation that we find, like, I don't care why you might have hidden it, or why you might not have told us that you could read it. But if you've got anything to say, come on. It's me here. You can trust us.
You have been
I
acting
don't have
very
anything to say.
weird. I agree with Dr. Berger. You have been acting very strange on multiple occurrences.
Well, I don't agree. Navarre steps up and he actually gets in Burger's face. I don't like the sound of your accusation. You better take back what you're saying. She's been nothing but helpful. She's put her ass on the line for me several times. I don't appreciate you accusing her for whatever you're accusing her of. So I've taken your bull this entire trip, but I'm starting to draw the line. Back
Mr.
off.
Big Balls here. Phew.
Doing opposed close combat. He's shoving you.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You
Apparently,
scientists fighting that?
both of you just sort of like stand exactly where you are. He goes to push you. You sort of tilt in a certain direction.
Well,
He
yeah.
sort of like leans forward too far, and you're at a stalemate.
This is not helping us.
Yeah, let's not be children here, Professor.
Look, all we are saying is if there's any information that could help assist us in any way, I don't feel that it is appropriate at this time to keep anything from each other. This is a life or death situation. He is correct.
Yes, and
Is
if
there-
I had the info, I would give it to you. What reason would I have to hide it?
I don't know. That's why we're confused. It just
You know, at first I was so excited to come here and be able to study this black hole up close and personal, but then these weird creatures and people transforming and that other thing we pushed out the airlock, I cannot deal with them.
Dude, you don't have to explain anything to these people. They're just looking at you from your past, which people with short, small minds will do from time to time.
Are you going to stay on the ship, Dr. Navarre?
As much as I would like to convince myself that I am the adventurous type and I can do what needs to be done over on Erebus, I think that my time is best spent here, possibly helping Gray and maybe doing some analysis on these growths. I'm sorry.
And Dr. Dabrowski, are you planning on returning back to the station?
Well, it seems like y'all do not trust me. Think I'm
I
out to sabotage things. Probably
no one
best I stay here.
You
no one's saying anything about sabotage. It's again peculiar your choice of language in the situation. We are just asking if you have any information that could help us.
surefire
If
way to
I
gain our trust would be to actually tell us the truth.
I've told you everything I know. I looked at the same data you did. I did not learn Russian that well when I was there. I left and joined the institute at such an early age.
And then you lose it. You lose the
You're
data disk. That doesn't seem very likely.
Your mother language is not Russian?
Oh,
Well, there's no point arguing about this anymore.
Will you
So
let
how
us
can I-
search you?
Navarro's like, you're not going to put a hand on her.
Will you let us search you?
what do you need to search me for?
Data disks.
I told you I do not have the data disk.
Okay, will you let us search you?
Where is this getting us? This is not getting the ship repaired and our crew out of the
Is that a
station so we
no?
can leave this place. No, you're not searching me.
Well, there's your answer.
Why don't we search you, Burger? Why don't we start with
Feel
your
free.
your shirt collar?
My shirt color.
Pull
You
down
mean
your
this? So I take off my helmet. I let's turn around and I show everyone the barcode on the back of my neck. That's what he's talking about, right?
Navarre says, exactly. You trying to tell me that that's just a drunken frat boy prank? That's a standardized UA insurrection tattoo. Not insurrection. Incarceration tattoo.
You know what? So the fuck what? Right? Okay. I was arrested. Big deal.
Oh, wait. Now we're finding this out.
Wayland Yutani bought out my sentence. They assigned me to this project because I'm the best at what I do, and I'm the best chance you have at getting to the bottom of this mystery and getting out of here alive. So there we go. I'm an ex-con. Drabakowski's got the data disk on her.
Dr. Jury, this is getting out of hand.
What,
You need to take control now.
Dr. Berger, what do you think could be on this data disk?
Well, it's linked to sensors, so presumably information on the lights, which seems pretty fucking important to me.
Can you think of any entity that might acquire? I just don't understand what the importance of this disk is. You think it's linked to sensors?
Yeah, it's linked to. I think we know that it's linked to exterior sensors. And they had some English files. It had information on the Chiron, and it had a file called Meteor, which I think was also referring to the Chiron, and the words Project Ironfish.
Dr. Jury, have you heard anything about this Project Ironfish?
No. I didn't get a good chance to look at any of the files either at the terminal. I don't know very much about practical anything about this disk.
But
Other
that
than that,
project has nothing to
Is
do
it-
with our involvement. No one from Wayland Yutani briefed you as our head of the operation.
No, I'm not quite understanding the importance of this of this disc?
Why, we don't know. It might be irrelevant. It might be some UPP bullshit. But if it's to do with the lights, then it helps us with the plan. I don't care if it's anything UPP related.
Can you just humor us, Dr. Dabrowski?
No, I'm not going to humor anyone who thinks I'm hiding things.
Well, if you're, I'm not going to lie. You've just been very suspicious with.
Dear, don't listen to them. Just go back to your quarters. I'm done with their demands. Just walk away. You don't need to prove anything. We can
Sounds
find
like a
out.
fantastic idea.
If I have to go back to Erebos and find more information for them to satisfy their curiosity, I'll go ahead and do that. You are not part of this argument any longer.
I turn on my heel and leave.
Mind you, I'm going to mention this quite obvious breach of decorum when we get back, if we get back.
Well, you won't be alive, Navarre. If anyone's not going to survive this, it's going to be you.
Uncharacteristically, he starts moving towards you again very aggressively.
What are you doing, old man?
Don't
Dr.
make me put you in a seat.
Dr. Berger, I've known Navarre for many years. He's a good person. His heart is telling him that Dr. Dabrowski has nothing to do with any mischievousness or wrongdoings. And if my friend believes this, I have to believe in it too. I trust him.
He looks over at you and sort of like his visage softens a little bit, and he nods at you, Dr. Ajira. He's like, I appreciate that, old friend. I'm sorry if I'm feeling a little agitated. And he looks angry again and looks over at Berger. It's like, but sometimes you just take enough crap. You can't take any more.
No, I understand. It seems like all of us are not on the same. We have different plans and different missions for how to accomplish this task. I need to go and contact the warden, and I know that's something you're heavily against, Dr. Berger. I don't know. I don't know what your plan is from here on forth. What do you think?
We need to get a specimen. We need to take it back to the med lab. We need to extract the cells and finish the perfect version of Draconis. Once we've got that, we've got the upper hand against whatever this creature is.
You
We've got
plan
leverage.
So you plan to use it as leverage in order for it to let us leave?
The only way out.
Like this growth that's on this ship right now. You think it can be controlled?
Well, that's what yeah. There's got to be a way. We're all scientists, or or logisticians, for all the good that's doing. But we're the smartest minds the Kellogg and its institute could find. We can find a solution to this.
I agree with you. Okay.
You see, Navarre looks at you, Berger, and is like, I'm sorry. I apologize for being so aggressive and rude. I wasn't being myself. I'm just very aggravated. I've been through a lot. And I guess it's easy enough to take it out on you, seeing as I'm the target of all your ire this entire mission.
I just give you shit because, I don't know. I think you just need to stand up for yourself. I'm liking it. Come here, buddy. And I give him a hug and a pat on the back.
He looks a little horrified, but he, doesn't do anything adverse.
Well, we
Now,
need
don't
to
have a stroke on us. We still need you.
contact Dr. Dabrowski in her quarters and see when she will be ready to accompany us back to the station.
So I want to go to the decks to meet up with the other team. Are you insistent on traveling to the warden?
I just feel like I need to make an effort to try and save as many lives as I can. And I believe that somewhere on that ship is a bastion of people that are scared and feeling hopeless and lost. And I
Under the spell of an alien monster,
Yeah.
Rusty.
yeah, and convicts running around. I mean, I don't even know what's up with.
That's why we shouldn't get involved with other people. It's our team versus the rest.
Okay, well, let's make a list. So we need to get this ship functioning in order. So what do we need now?
Pull the coil, fix the batteries, cut the ship loose.
Okay, we got the batteries.
No, we got
have-
the coil. Well, we got
we
an
have-
empty battery
Okay, so we still need to get batteries.
charged.
Well, we have the coil. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it. And hopefully the growth doesn't envelop the ship while we're back on the station. So. Okay. Do you think it's possible that we can accomplish that task while still looking for the squid?
I think the batteries can be charged in the decks that I want to go to anyway.
Okay. And what did Dr. Dabrowski want to accomplish? What is she
She wanted to
trying
hide the data disk from us and pretend like she's not got it when it's obvious that she does. And she's just gone
Yeah.
to record us to hide it.
I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, well, you made that clear.
Okay.
But
Alright.
we'll drop that. Fine, we'll drop that.
What does she want to do? I mean, does she want to still accompany us?
Well, we'll need her to. There's not many of us.
I think it. Okay. But you do not want to go see the warden, so I will make this venture on my own. So it'll just be the two of you. Dr. Navarre, you must stay here. I don't think that there's any other suits, right? Is that correct?
I don't think there's enough suits now. Gray has my suit, so he can donate it to whoever wants it. I don't think Drabakowski's going to want to accompany you now. I wouldn't blame her.
So the warden, what deck is the warden on? It's on.
So, the warden had said, I'm going to switch everyone over to the map that Gray provided. He said to rendezvous with him on deck F at this docking bay.
Deck F. Okay. And where do we need to recharge the batteries?
You're still not fully 100% sure where. You'd assume it would have to be some sort of large power conduit junction point or something of that nature.
It's like an engineering base somewhere, isn't it?
Where is an engineering base? Fox Control Hub. Collector. I'm skimming over this map, trying to see
Yeah,
where.
workshop and machine rooms in Deck
Machine
H.
room. Deck H. Copy. Is that north or south?
It's in the
on
middle
Deck
of the
H?
ship.
It's in the middle of the ship.
Are you guys looking at this deck?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the side view.
Oh,
Oh, the side view. Oh, the side view. Where's that? Oh,
In
copy.
handout, in journal.
so yes, best guess for you guys would probably be anywhere deck G and below.
Well, they're pretty far from each other, the warden and possibly that location. Okay. All right. Well, I guess you can drop me off.
All right, I guess that's a plan. Let's go find Drabikowski and bring her back.
Okay.
Would you like me? Gray pipes up. Would you like me to start effecting repairs on the thruster coil?
Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
Seems like it's going to be a bit of work, so it won't be a quick job, as they say. I will keep you all apprised of my progress, though. And he leaves.
Yeah,
to
you do
head.
that.
Navarre says, "Do you want me to go speak to Drabikowski, or are you going to
Well,
both talk to her?"
since
If
you're her
so-
biggest defender, you go and just let her know. We'll drop it for now because fine. But we need her for the mission.
And what does she need to do exactly?
Well, just ask her if she wants to come with me or Dr. Ruggieri.
So Navarre says, "I'll make sure that she's aware of her options," and he walks away towards her quarters. You hear a knock on your quarter door, Drabikowski.
I grudgingly get up and go to it and open it and answer real short, "What?" And then I
Dear,
see it's Dr. Navarre. Oh, sorry.
no, dear, no need to apologize. You've had a very trying few hours. I understand. I came here to tell you that the other two have a plan in mind. They're going to be leaving for the station again. They want to know if you want to be a part of the away team, either going with Dr. Jiri to try and meet up with the warden, or to go along with Berger for. Sorry, what was his plan?
To meet up with the other team.
To meet up with the Luger and the rest of the team. And just know that you don't have to do either. You can help me here at this on the Setarina. I could use the
Oh.
extra hands.
Going anywhere with either of them does not sound appealing at all right now. They don't seem to trust me for some reason.
Well, their mistrust is their own issue. I trust you, dear.
Thank you. Can't
Sure.
help that all these weird happenings around here just stress me out. I was hoping to come here and just study a black hole.
We all were hoping for something normal, but life seems to have thrown us a curveball, and we have to deal with skills and gifts that we have. And that's all we can hope for now in this situation. Would you like me to tell them that you're not going to accompany them?
Yes, I cannot bring myself to be around them right now.
I totally agree. I'll meet up with you later in the mess hall. Maybe we can have a drink, relax a bit before we get back to our task.
Sounds great.
And he leaves your quarters. You guys are still, like in the common area?
Yeah, things all the infirmary I think we were in.
Yeah. Navarre returns like, well, not shockingly, she wants to stay on board the Setarina.
Great. Okay, looks like the dynamic duo is heading out. You ready, Doctor?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes, I'm ready.
Out of character, you taking the suit from Gray? Does anyone-
Our suits are fine.
Okay.
So I think we probably best leave that one here.
Okay. All right. I guess you guys will head down to the airlock and get prepped for departure, correct?
Will I take the arms again? I've gotten used to docking.
All right, I'll give it a go. Piloting. Let's go.
Ooh, it seems to be floating away on its own. All right. So you guys board the EVA. You depart from the docking station and you head over towards. Is your first stop going to be where you are being expected by Stykes?
Yeah, I think so. So I think what I'll do is I'll dock, and I'll wait in the pod, and you radio me if you're coming out, and
Okay.
and let me know if you're being pursued by gunmen, so I can get you out of there. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
like the idea of leaving you to die.
I appreciate that.
And in
Thank you.
true RPG adventuring form, you split the party into thirds now.
Gonna be fourth, so we still got Lark in them.
We're never going to see everyone else again.
All right. I'm actually going to switch scenes again.
Mhm.
As we head to the surreal landscape that is presumably the Heart of Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
I did call it the heart.
You've just been ushered in by what you assume is your great aunt. Luger, your symptoms seem to have subsided for the moment.
Does the interior of this all fleshy and stuff, or is it normal?
Yeah, this doesn't look anything like the map. Just use the map as a general sense of shape of the space around you. There's nothing discernible mechanical anymore. It's all like flesh, bone, sinew, veins, and stuff like that.
Okay, well, in place of doors, do I see heart valves?
Yep. That's what you would see. What about you guys in the airlock? You staying there while she investigates her?
Oh, apologies for whatever reason my Discord wasn't connecting back. But yeah, I think I'm gonna follow in if Luger's heading in.
Okay. I'm just gonna lock some of these doors so I can have a chance to catch up to you guys to tell you what you see. You like the sound of the doors?
They're particularly gruesome.
Alright, as you enter this main space in the aft part of what you assume is formerly the lifeboat of the Chiron. I mean, the Cronus. This room is like vibrating. There's like a thunderous thumping all around you. Skittering sounds echo across the chamber. Their source is unseen to you. investigate, or are you just moving with a purpose?
I'm moving with a purpose.
Well, I want to look around and see if there's any sounds. I'm trying to get my bearings here anyway, or see what the source of the sounds are, but...
Yeah, Lark definitely wants to look out for anything that might pose a danger to us at this point.
So, as you look around, studying your surroundings, there are certain things that stick out to you specifically, aside from the fact that everything looks like the flesh of it, like a dark purplish blue, like living thing. Along the walls and floor in certain spots around you, there are these, looks like giant pimples, like reddish meter wide growths that sort of blemish the walls and floors. Pretty easily spotted. You can pretty easily avoid them if you want to stay away from them, or you could go closer and check them out. They're just like these rounded, sort of like bumps in the skin of the interior of this space.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from them. They remind me of the pods we saw earlier, and there ain't good things inside. And I'm going to head closer to this door, or heart valve door.
As you pass by this area here, the open office, you can see it's from the ceiling. There are these dangling pod shapes like you had seen in the security muster area in Erebos. There's 6 of them. All of them look like they have burst. And at that time, you hear skittering in the darkness.
Is it lit in here, by the way? Is it dark?
There's no actual, like, lights per se, but all around you is sort of like this surreal, iridescent, purplish glow in areas that lights the area.
Alright, well, I want my suit lights on as well, just to accent it.
Okay. There's still that sort of like purple mist that sort of hangs low around your knees.
And I don't see any indication on this. There's no leftover visibility of any sort of signs on the wall as to what is what. It's just flesh.
No. It's all flesh and bone.
Well, I'll go straight ahead.
How about you, Lark? What are you doing at this moment?
Does the Lark wanted to walk over, noticing it's kind of a mirrored room, and there's this other door. See if maybe it just kind of circles around to where Luger's going. Opens, or I guess approaches this door, bottom left.
As you approach, it opens the valve.
Ugh. And I assume everything in here looks kind of the same as the rest.
Yep, just all organic shapes.
Yeah, then I think, her instinct is going to be go in the direction of Luger, so, veering to her left and approaching that door.
Okay, if you want, you can just click on the doors at this point.
Okay, cool.
Is there anything resembling medical in here?
When you enter, you see that it's pretty much overgrown with all this organic stuff. However, there are bits and pieces of machinery that you see poking through. You see that this room specifically is sort of arranged in a different pattern than the previous room. The fleshy, dark parts of the room are arranged like an open flower, with the ship's Pauling Medpod at its center.
Is there any supply cabinets around that are visible still?
Give me an observation.
I will do that. Guess not.
Would you like to push that?
Yeah. Hey, and a stress. Panic. Keeping it together.
Okay, you thought you saw something moving in the shadows when you're trying to figure out what's what. You just realized it was the shadow of Sajad in the doorway behind you. But
jump.
With your success, you notice something when you reach the med pod. Its operations screen is completely uncovered with any growth, and it seems like it's operational, and there's some specific little bits of text on the screen. One of which is decontamination.
I would like to initiate that sequence and jump inside.
You take off your suit?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Well, it's not really protecting me anyway, other than the armor.
Okay. You initiate. You hear a voice from the med pod.
Decontamination initiated. Please enter the pod.
Okay. The pod closes over you. I need you to ad hoc roll a single stress die.
Okay, it's still gonna roll a base die. I don't think I have the option of removing the base die. I'll try anyway.
It's fine. Just ignore
Nope.
the base die.
Wouldn't roll unless I have a base die. Alright, base die and a stress die.
Okay. This pod begins to fill with like an anesthetic smelling mist as this UV like bar light runs over the course of your entire body, top to bottom. It takes about 5 minutes. While this is happening, what are you guys doing, Sajad and Lark?
Continuing to poke.
Yeah, and I will also explore the other direction.
When you look in the head, Lark, you see what you assume might have been the toilet at one time, but it looks sort of like, you know, like Little Shop of Horrors plant now.
Oh,
Just singing.
better not let anyone spit on that.
Continue into the astrophysics lab, Sajad.
Yep.
As you enter, this chamber is sort of like the entire space is expanding and contracting in and out of itself as if it's breathing. As you step in, you start to lose your footing. I need you to make a mobility roll.
Okay. Oof.
Oh boy.
So I'm rolling stress, right?
Yep. Okay. You do manage to keep your footing. However, you're not really paying attention to how close you are to the door, and it sort of closes on you like almost like a sphincter muscle, crushing you a bit. You need to roll 6 base die.
Like this?
No,
That's
your
plus
ad hoc,
6, my bad.
do the ad hoc roll and then do 6 dice.
Oh, okay.
You take 2 points of damage from the crush.
Okay.
Lark, you sort of hear Sajad scream out.
Hearing that, as like trying to approach this next room, I think she's gonna sprint off in the other direction. I'm coming, Sajad. And like, yeah, sprinting in that direction as fast as she can.
Okay. You head towards the sound which came from here. And you see what was normally a heart valve door is like squeezed shut, like a, lack of a better word, a closed sphincter.
Sorry.
See.
I'm gonna try to wriggle out in whichever direction seems easier.
You're basically stuck on the right
Okay.
side of the door. But yeah, you do manage to wriggle free, but with some pain.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
okay.
now Lark's like pretty strong, so she hears that. She's like, I'm coming. And like tries to like find an edge, find some kind of grip to like pull it open.
As you stick your hands into the crevices, give me a mobility roll. You're fast enough to realize this thing is going to crush your hands if you keep it in there as it starts to close even tighter.
Oh yeah, pulls her hands back very reflexively. Sajad, I can't get to you.
It's okay. I'm okay.
The room starts.
What the hell's back there?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, it was just yeah, continuing to yell like, what's back there? What's going on? What's your situation?
Hello?
What is my situation?
So yeah, Luger, your cycle ends and your pod opens.
I put my suit back on.
You before you do, you have one really large cough, and all of these worm-like, maybe like, inch-long worms sort of like vomit out of your body, but they're not glowing anymore and they're not moving, and you sort of feel much, much, much better.
Yes. But I don't find any napper leaf or anything like that around.
Nothing else seems to be like normal,
All right.
like the pod. It's just all transformed.
Suit back on then.
Okay.
And I want to go
You
and...
can also relieve stress, all your stress.
Oh. Well, then I don't need the napper leaf. And I'm going to come back out to Junction C and see if I... Oh, then I see Lark. What the hell's going on?
Jod's trapped behind this entrance here. Don't. I caution. Do not put your hands in it. It is quite strong.
What is it? Is it a fleshy, muscly door, you say?
Yeah, it's like a
Is it open?
spherical sphincter.
Is it open or closed?
It is shut, very tightly closed. It's slightly pulsating.
I want to take my maintenance jack that's on my hip and, oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this, and probe it.
How gently are you doing this?
Gently at first.
Do we have any medication we can put on it first?
Yeah.
Never mind.
I happen to have some Preparation H. I'm so
Where's the
sorry.
KY when you need it?
I'm straight up middle school right now, man. I'm so sorry, Sean. I'm not trying to derail your game, man.
Nah, it's all
I
good.
couldn't resist it, man.
No one can when I've described it the way I've described it. Don't worry about it.
There's a reason I had to mute my mic.
Anyway,
So-
basically I'm just trying to see if touching it makes it tighten up or loosen. That's all. Like does
Give me
it?
a mobility roll.
Damn it. There we go.
As you start to probe, you immediately sense the sensation of it closing on the wrench, and it's about to grab it, basically.
I want to pull that back. Maybe that bonus success allows me to do so.
Yeah, you get it out before it's caught in the door.
Is Sajad stuck in it?
He's not.
I'm okay. I yell in case they can hear me.
You can hear muffled Sajad on the other. You still have your suit comms, by the way.
Oh, and I'm gonna try to say it with comms that I'm okay. I was just stuck in the door for a moment.
Right, I want to
They're
hit
fine now.
this. I want to hit it.
All right. Give me a melee or close combat.
I'm hitting it with the maintenance check. I don't know if that's a bonus to hit or not. But I don't have it in my inventory to be able to look to see. Is there any bonuses on it?
It only gives you a bonus for mechanical purposes. It doesn't give you a bonus for
Okay.
melee.
All right. Brilliant. I missed.
All right. So even though you miss, you sort of like slam it against the outer edge, away from where you were aiming. As soon as you make contact, you hear in the distance. And thundering footsteps in your direction coming.
I want to shout, open up. We can't help you if you're closed up.
From behind you, one of these elongated head creatures runs in. And before you even have a chance to sort of like plead your case, it attacks. I'm going to put you in initiative. I'm going to keep you out, Sajad, because you can't actually affect
Sure.
anything on that side of the door.
Can I look around the space I'm in?
Yeah, I'm just going to have to hold that aside for a minute while I...
Sure, of course.
Okay, roll for your initiatives.
Bringing up the rear. Brilliant. Both of us. My God.
That's great.
Wow, it was fun while it lasted.
It seemed to identify you, Luger, with holding the implement, and it's coming at you extremely aggressively. And again, it sort of turns at you. And it sort of opens its jaws. Gives you this ear-piercing shriek. And you must make a stamina roll for me.
Woohoo!
Would you like to push?
Yeah, okay. Don't have my much hope that though. Damn it.
So this thing's war shriek just riddles through you. The effect is that you lose your next slow and fast action. So you're basically stunned for a round.
All right.
And you gain 1 stress level. And it's not done. It turns to you, Lark. And it sort of slashes out with claws. Misses just barely. Comes around, swings at you, Luger, with its other claw. Connects. Roll armor-piercing armor. So half your armor.
There's 2.
All right. So it hits you, but it seems to hit the chunky part of your spacesuit, leaving a large claw mark, but leaving you unscathed. Lark, you're up.
So I think Lark, seeing the fear on the captain's face, can I don't have my action economy stuff up. Can I hit and command in the same round, like close combat and command?
Yeah, they're 2 separate actions.
Okay. So yeah, she's gonna start by saying, Captain Luger, keep it together, to like calm them down a little bit. All right, so that's 2 stress reduced.
Okay.
And then she's gonna... Oh, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say as an FYI, that affects your stress, but it doesn't affect your losing your actions.
Yeah, probably not the like stunned.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna just try to punch this thing where its eyes should be.
Okay, give me a close combat.
Just glances off.
You notice something though. You're filled with a determination you haven't normally been filled with. You seem like you could try again.
Oh. Well, absolutely should use that energy and try to swing again.
As if you're pushing yourself.
Yeah, strange.
Becoming human.
God damn it. Just like a human.
And swing and a miss. Alright. The creature's turn. It rears up over you, Luger. But all of a sudden, in all of your heads, there's this agonizing shriek. Even you, Sajad, you feel it cut through your head like a knife. The creature recoils as this being walks in the doorway. It's aching. You see its teeth are like hovering from your neck. Just inches from your neck, Luger, and it's like wants to continue, but it can't, and it moves back next to this creature. The creature looks at you.
Do not harm the heart.
I'm still frozen.
You see it points judgingly at the creature, and it sort of like tucks its tail and retreats back into the space beyond. And just as it does, this being looks at you. You can tell it's not your aunt. It's a different one.
Honor the bargain or die.
And it backs up. And the door it came through closes. At the same time, the sphincter releases.
Am I?
Lark's gonna like grab Luger and like, step into the room as quick as possible, not wanting to get crushed.
By the way, out of character, do you need to do your time thing?
I actually, I set up my like time in the queue. I'm actually waiting on it, and it looks like it'll be after we finish. So yeah,
Okay.
no worries.
All right. So you see Shajad's suit is pretty well dented.
Tough time?
I'm sorry?
Tough time? That's what I said to Shajad.
I think I do not think they mean us harm, but this is clearly a, shall we say, sensitive area. We must be a bit more careful.
Is there anything in this room that looks like the map, or is it all flesh?
In this particular room, 1 second. Everything in here is also pretty much covered. There's also what looks to be strange pulsing organs, things you would see inside a human body, like akin to like livers, kidneys, things of that nature, hanging from the ceilings, attached to the walls, pumping out of the floor, all doing different, apparently, functions like pulsating or vibrating or moving.
And the two doors here are also like heart valve things.
Yep.
How do we just go near them and they open? Or
Yeah, you just still have to click on them, basically.
I'm gonna, henceforth, all these doors I'm gonna run through. Just.
Okay. There are more of these strange organs filling the room in the computer core.
Any access to computer equipment?
No, there's nothing of any, technological shapes.
And the ladder well.
You see a ladder well going, like, it's got stuff wrapped around it, but it does look like a regular ladder. It seems to terminate in the ceiling.
Oh, does it go up?
Yeah.
Alright. That's probably an escape hatch. But I know that life pods like this have multiple floors, or is that more likely an escape, an access point to the outside?
With your, familiarity with starships and things of this nature, you would think that it's like an external egress point.
Yeah. There'll only be a single story in here. Okay, I dive through this door as well to keep from getting squeezed, shall we call it.
As you come through the door, you think you see the shadow of something move quickly around the corner out of view. You're not sure if it was a trick of the light or if there was actually something there that moved so fast you couldn't see it.
I'm going to draw my pistol.
Yeah, Lark's gonna draw her pistol as well.
And I'll put the maintenance jack on back of my belt.
Careful, we don't be too rash. We don't want to get in a fight.
No, that hasn't gone very well for us at all our entire time here.
This particular room that you're entering, while it still has some vestige of, this living matter, most of it looks normal. As if, like, whatever was growing forgot to grow in here. It looks like mostly an intact cryosleep chamber.
And only the one that's got the token in it is got an occupant?
Yes, there's one that's missing. One of the cryopods is missing. The rest are deactivated, and there's one with a person in it in cryosleep.
Does the is the readout still powered up, still available? Like if we walk over to see, their light signs and stuff like that?
Yes, you walk over to it. You see that there's a perfectly preserved human male laying inside, nude. And on the screen, his vitals are all in the green, and there's a name.
What is the name?
He's identified as Third Officer Nevin Levine of the U.S. CSS Cronus. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Dun dun dun.
Dun 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 dun.
Cool.
So, hopefully that had a decent level of creepiness for this session.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
We're crawling through a living ship.
And we literally got told when we tried to pop that door open not to mess with the heart. We were inside something alive.
I thought you guys might like this particular encounter.
Definitely.
Game's been consistently great. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I figured with last session being just a lot of exposition and not a lot of action, that this might be a little nice diversion from that. And might I add, there's a lot of great roleplay in this session.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of getting into our contrarian missions and objectives and things now.
Yes, it's very cool to see from my point of view. So yeah,
It's definitely fun.
what was session 6? Was it session 7? No, 6, right?
I can't keep track.
I'm looking on the event now.
5 was the last one posted in the chat, so this would be 6.
How long does it say in the book it tends to take? I remember a Chariot of God saying 3 hours, but it's nearly always at least 3 sessions.
Yeah, it's more like 18 hours.
Yeah, anyone ever runs chariots in less than 5 sessions.